So we're here with the producer room powered by producer culture. Got my boy 254 Bodi, and we're gonna get into this crazy record that he got with Polo G. But before we get into it, I just want to remind everyone that if there's a tune that you want us to break down or you want another story behind, make sure you jump in the comments. It can be an album cut, a single, whether it came out last week or 10 years ago. If it's got an interesting story, we're all over it. So definitely let us know. But man, today we got a treat. We've got the boy, as I said, 254 Bodi, landed this crazy album cut of Polo G, bloody canvas, crazy record, crazy beat, crazy story, just a crazy record in general. So, man, story time, as we always say. How did this all come together?
Man, appreciate you for having me, man. But yeah, bro, this Polo record, it was kind of like crazy how it all came together. So basically, one day I was going to the studio in New York with my homie Safe, and it was a fire artist, and we were going to lock in on just his project and just bang out a couple of the last songs that we had to do for his project. And when we pulled up, Safe's manager also works on Polo's team, and he's like, "Yo, like we need to knock out this last record for Polo's record that was coming out in a month." So we had to kind of like switch gears and focus on getting this record done. And it was the outro for Polo's project. So it was me, my homie Dot, and Safe, and my boy Khaled, and we all kind of like sat down and really like attacked the melody on that song. So it really started was we wrote this, like me and Dot sat down I was on the guitar and Dot was on the keys, and we wrote the progression and everything. And then we kind of like all split up for a second and like went into different rooms and kind of all got our parts done. So I went into kind of like the B room at the studio we were at, and I just took my Apollo and this guitar and went and knocked out my part. And it was so crazy because I didn't bring my guitar with me to that session, and I had to ask like one of the people at the studio like to just use one of their guitars. And so I go into the other room and I'm like just jamming on this guitar in my headphones, and I'm like, yo, like this shit sounds like amazing. Like this is like the best sounding guitar I've ever played. And so whatever, I lay down my part, like get everything nice, like put all the effects on, and then I go back into the main room, and I'm just like to all the boys in the room, I'm like, yo, this is like the best sounding guitar I've ever played in my life. And the studio engineer turns around and he's like, no way they gave you that guitar. And I was like, what? Like, what's up with this guitar? And he's like, man, he's like, I'm not 100% sure, but he's like, I'm pretty sure Prince gave that guitar to Alicia. And we were at Alicia Keys' studio in New York. And I was just like, no way. Like, it was just such a mind-blowing moment. But yeah, that was super crazy. But yeah, anyway, I laid down my part, come back into the room. Dot went absolutely crazy on his keys part, and he did like a whole string arrangement. And then Safe and Khaled were also in another room knocking out the vocal part and doing like the vocal chops and the vocal production on that. And they just bodied that. And then, yeah, after everyone had kind of like knocked out their parts, we all came back together and like arranged it and yeah, honestly bodied it. But that was like the definition of like a group effort. Like everyone just came together and like just performed at such a high level on that record. And it was just crazy to be a part of that experience.
So they hit you up a month before and said we need to get this record banged out. How long do you reckon it took you guys collectively to get the beat from like A to B?
I want to say it took like probably a solid like 4 hours, maybe. Like we really took our time, like arranging it, making sure like all the parts sounded good. And yeah, but it was, yeah, I would say it probably took us 4 hours to piece the whole thing together.
That's crazy. And then how does it progress from there? So does Polo get on it like straight away? Do you hear much in the meantime? How does it progress?
Yeah. So from there, like after we finished the beat and everything, I think it was maybe like 2 days later, I want to say, we got the reference back, and or like the first demo, and it was just insane. Like we were all blown away because he was on that record. He's really like he's telling us a serious and like a really dark story on it, and to have a cut with Polo where he's really storytelling like that was just super crazy for all of us. And yeah, we were all like literally blown away with the record when we first heard it.
So break down that then. Were you all together when you heard that reference, or what was kind of the vibe?
Yeah, me, Safe, and Dot were together when we heard that. We were just chilling at Safe's crib, and we were just all in the studio at his crib. And yeah, we played it for the first time and we lost it. It was like, yeah, that was a super cool moment.
That's fire. Yeah, that must have been really cool.
Yeah.
And then so when you heard that reference, was it much different to what we heard on release day?
Honestly, it wasn't too different. I want to say, like, I think there was just like minor mix adjustments. But yeah, it was pretty much the same. Like all the lyrics and everything were the same. So yeah.
That's crazy because you listen to the track, and I know you guys said you spent 4 hours on it, and then like, Polo records it a couple days after, but it does sound like a proper composition. Even like lyrically, the beat, it does sound like it would have been worked on maybe over a few months, not a few days, which is
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, man. It's crazy. Yeah, the turnaround on that record was insane. But yeah, super. I'm so happy with how it came together. And it was honestly just such a perfect group of producers to really just go in and get that record done.
How did you get into playing guitar? Was it from a very early age, and how did you kind of bring up your skill in it?
Honestly, I started playing guitar when I was, I want to say 8 maybe, but then it was probably when I was in like the 7th grade where I really started to like just go on YouTube and like learn all of my favorite songs. Like I'm completely self-taught with guitar, and I literally just learned everything from YouTube. And yeah, just like I would just come home from school every day and practice and like just learn new songs, watch like different videos. And then yeah, I feel like from there I was kind of my I didn't really like get better until probably like 3 years ago when I just started kind of like using guitar in my production. And I feel like when you start playing to a click and like you're laying down and you're like writing guitar, I feel like that's like really when you start to get better.
But and then in terms of then using your guitar in production, what do you think makes a difference between someone that's like casually trying to get guitar in their production to someone that's like doing it effectively like you have been able to do?
Honestly, I feel like that just comes with time and
Mm.
developing your ear and learning how to write good guitar parts. That really just comes with time. Like you can't really like rush that process because you can be an amazing guitar player, but you can't write, like I feel like it's just figuring out what works, what sounds good together, like all of that.
And then back to the Polo record then, when the song actually came out, what was the release day like, and what was your reaction to the reception that the song got?
Man, that was a really crazy day. to be honest. Yeah, we were all together in we were in the Hamptons at this like crazy crib, just like working on Safe's album. And then yeah, like on that Friday when it came out, or I guess the Thursday night, we were just all together in the studio that we had set up there, and we just like bumped it as loud as possible. And yeah, that was a crazy time.
No, that's tight. It's been a great conversation. We appreciate you you taking the time to break down these records with us.
Thank you so much for having me, bro.
Now, all good, man. So this has been the producer room, powered by Producer Culture, with the boy 254 Bodi, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.